How to support an anxious child with ADHD. Hey there, I'm Charlotte with Colorful Teaching for You. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, many children with ADHD have anxiety, and when they have this combination, it can make it really difficult for them to feel trusted, to feel safe, to feel welcome and understood. So what we want to do is help them so that they don't feel like this. They don't feel alone. A lot of the times when they're feeling like this, it causes them to overthink. It causes them to feel like, just feel overwhelmed, like they doubt themselves more than usual. There's just so much uncertainty in their life, especially if they don't do well in a topic, or some of them might feel like they're failing, and that's not what we want for them. And so the point of this is to help them learn how to self-regulate so that they don't feel like they are losing out academically, emotionally, socially, or just even if they're older, professionally. We're looking at ways that we can show them that we care about them and that they matter, their feelings matter. So we're going to look at 4 different things that we're going to do. The first step here is to watch for signs. So it sounds obvious, but it's not always, the signs aren't always obvious because it could sometimes mean something different. So these are the signs that I look for, and I hope it helps. The first one is we're looking to see if your child might be showing avoidance behavior. Maybe they are not eating as much. You might notice kids complaining of a stomach ache or a headache, right? So if it's happening often, not if it's just happening, like it's not a one-off. So let's say they just have a headache today. That's, that could be normal. They could be getting sick. But if they're constantly complaining of a headache or a stomach ache or avoiding specific tasks, or they're not wanting to, or they're having, a big meltdown whenever you do a specific thing, you know that those are signs of anxiety. A specific, like a task or a person or something is causing them to have these emotions. Okay, so you want to look at what are these signs and when is it happening. Okay, the second sign or the second step is to embrace predictability. So what I'm looking for here is creating a predictable routine or using a predictable schedule. So take a visual schedule and teach them about the shape of the day so that they know this is what we're doing, and then if possible turn it into a routine. So maybe Mondays, for the most part, we do these activities. Tuesday, we do these activities. Now, of course, things are going to move around, but for the most part, we're going to be looking at this. And so once it becomes predictable and a routine, it starts to ease a child's anxiety because they're not always wondering, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? So how do we create this? If you'd like to learn how to do this, or you want a resource where it's already done for you, check out the link in the description where it says full episode. Go to step number 2 under the step that says embrace predictability, and you'll get your visual schedule. It can be used either at home or at school. I've created it for both. Okay. The third step is to teach coping skills. So here we want to teach our children how to deep breathe and other grounding activities, so that when we see those signs, when they start to feel anxious, we're teaching them how to calm their minds and their bodies down. Now, when we teach them this, you also want to be able to create a safe space for them to be able to manage their emotions. If you want to learn how to do this in a step-by-step format, join me inside of ADHD and Autism Self-Regulation Space. And you can do that by checking out the link in the description where it says full episode. Go to step number 3 where it says teach coping skills. All right? And then the fourth thing, or the fourth step, is to validate feelings. So our kids have big emotions, and a lot of the times they feel like it's not okay, but we want to let them know that, wait, it's okay to have these emotions. It's not okay to, have this big meltdown every 2 seconds, but if we're feeling anxious or we're feeling angry or something, it's okay. We're allowed to feel that. In fact, I encourage you to show your children when you have, or not show it, to tell your children when you have these big emotions. So if you're feeling anxious, let your kids know. You don't have to let them know about every single detail in regards to why you're feeling it, but you can let them know, hey, today I feel really anxious, and I know that because in my body, my stomach is really hurting me, and I feel it in this part of my stomach or in this part of my head, okay, for a headache. So that way they know that you get it too. It's okay. We're all allowed to feel it because it's a part of who we are. It's human nature. Okay? So let's recap really quickly. We've looked at why or some signs as to why our children might be feeling anxious, specifically with ADHD. And then we've also looked at 4 different ways to help our children through this. The first step was to watch for signs. Number 2 is embrace predictability. Number 3 is teach coping skills. And number 4 is validate feelings. All right, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns, please feel free to send me a message. In the meantime, remember to create, experience, and teach from the heart. Thank you and take care, my friends. Bye.